Okay, I'm back with part 2 of Cupcakes. I'll begin from where I left off. I do apologise, it was just abruptly cut off if you read it before. But if I keep getting too into it, I'll just want to go and put the whole thing up in one go. So I'm sorry. Okay, let's start. She awoke with a gasp. The stench of her urine filled her mucus-caked nostrils. She saw a very pouty Pinkie Pie removing the adrenaline needle from her chest. Stomping her hooves, the frustrated Pinkie Pie lashed out. Didn't anyone teach you any manners? It's very rude to fall asleep when someone invites you over to spend time with them. How would you like it if I came over to your house and went to sleep? Oh, I'm sorry, Dash. You're boring. I think I'll take a nap. You think I like always doing this by myself? I told you how excited I was when I found out you were next. I was excited to have a friend be here with me when I worked. But no, you had to be considerate. You know, I thought you were tough. I thought you could handle anything. I've had far stand-up better than you. Do I have to baby you? Huh? Is that how you want me to remember you? As a baby? She stopped to catch her breath. Dash blinked and softly cried. Her back was on fire. Pinkie then popped something red into her mouth and began to chew. She noticed Dash was staring. What? She asked. Oh, this? Holding up another piece. Well, while you were asleep, I got a little impatient and helped myself to a sample. I got it from your leg. You're not bad. Want to try some? And without a response, she shoved the strip of meat into the revolted Rainbow Dash's mouth. She immediately spat it out. Pinkie picked it up. If you didn't want it, you could have just said no. She then ate the discarded snotty morsel. It's not like you haven't tried it before. Swallowing. She turned her attention to the small can on the tray. She removed the lid, revealing it was filled with burning coals sitting on top of a fire. There were several large nails. Dash began to panic again. Pinkie picked up the can and walked over to Dash's left, carefully picking up a nail, and grabbed the hammer. She positioned the spike at the seam between her leg and her hoof. No, Pinkie, no! Dash screamed. No, no! I do apologise if it gets very loud. I do get enthusiastic. The hammer came down. The nail punctured under her skin. The white-hot burning was too much. Dash pulled and thrashed at the brace. Her skin rubbed and tore. Pinkie tried lining up another one. She couldn't find her aim. She left a frustrated grunt, then pulled the hammer back, wildly swinging. Dash burst out crying a bit. Please! No! Please! Please stop! Pinkie rolled her eyes, putting the hammer back down. She walked back in front of their friend. She stared pensively at the broken Pegasus. Gilda didn't even cry this much when she stuck that live Paris sprite down her throat. Pinkie thought for a minute about what to do next. Then a sudden spark of imagination. She grabbed the gear wheel on the rack and laid Rainbow Dash down on her back. She moved to Dash's hind legs, bringing the can with her. She picked up the hammer again and drove a searing piece of metal into the bottom of Rainbow Dash's hoof. Dash screamed again. Pinkie put one in the other hoof. Then she located the small generator on the tray, tying the copper wires to the nail. She then gave Dash a wink. Flipped the switch. Electricity rocketed through Dash's body. The blue pony reacted immediately. Body seized, muscles stuck taut. Her hips thrusted skywards. Her eyes rolled back. She let out a deep throat-shedding cry. Pinkie giggled and danced in place. She turned up the juice. Dash convulsed uncontrollably. Her bladder emptied once more. After about 5 minutes, Pinkie shut off the power. The area smelled of lightly cooked flesh and burnt enamel. She put Rainbow Dash upright again, and she tried to snap the delirious and drooling pony back to attention. Dash! 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 Wake up! Rainbow managed to give her a modicum of weak acknowledgement. Pinkie reached into the medicine bag and produced a large shrimp. All right, it's time for the last round. Dash looked at the needle and then at Pinky as if to question, "What is it?" "Something that'll take the pain away," she informed as she walked around to Dash's ruined backside. She stuck the needle into the lower part of her spine. Dash flinched. Coming to the front again, she told her friend, "In a few minutes, you won't be able to feel anything below your rib cage. And then you'll be able to stay awake to watch the harvest." Dash began to cry. "Pinky," she trembled out. "Yeah? I want to go home." Dash openly sobbed. "Yeah, I can see you wanting to do that too," the party pony replied. "Sometimes I just want to give up and say, I'm done with this mess. I want to go home to bed. You know that? But you know what? You can't shrug off your responsibilities. You gotta pull yourself together and meet the challenges head on. That's the only way you're gonna get ahead in life." Dash cried. A minute passed, and the drug took effect. Dash was numb from her chest to her flanks. Aware of this, Pinky approached with a scalpel. With only a smiling glance to Dash, she made a long incision across her pelvis, just above her crotch. Moving up her body, she drew a similar incision under her ribs, and one final cut down her stomach connecting the two. "Looks like I got my eye on you, Dash." With a moist, gooey sound, the new door flapped open. The sight of her own organs and lack of feeling caused Dash's breathing to intensify. Pinky sliced the abdominal sac and grabbed the large intestines, separating from the rest of the digestive tract and pulling them from the forming cavity. Pinky was getting jovial and started making jokes. Dash, growing weaker from the new source of blood loss, tried to shut out the comedy act. Pinky was laughing. "Look at me, I'm Rarity," she said, slinging the tube around her neck, spraying blood in all directions. "Isn't my new scarf so pretty?" Reaching back in, she cut the small intestine off at the bowels. Squeezing out the excess excrement, Pinky filed it along through her teeth and dragged it back and forth. "Dentists say you gotta floss every day, Dash." Rainbow Dash was barely aware of what was going on anymore, the shock causing her to fade. Pinky got disappointed, diving back into the guts. She ramped up her routine. "Aw, don't go yet, Dash," she stated. She started pulling out the rest of the organs, stopping at each one. "I know I can be a real pancreas, but you know I'm just kidney with you. You already gotta learn to liver it up." Boy, these jokes are getting bladdered. "Guess you gotta develop a stomach for them." She placed the discarded body parts into a bucket, keeping the last one for a bit longer. "Oh, bagpipes," she said, placing the tube in her mouth and the organ under her armpit. A spurt of acid hit her tongue. "Ew! Oh, hey! There's your cupcake, Dash." Dash didn't hear her, as she slipped from consciousness a minute ago. Pinky, not satisfied yet, hit her with another adrenaline shot. Dash woke up for the last time, her heart jumping. Her blood flowed out faster. It wouldn't be long now. Pinky put Dash down on her back and straddled her chest, scalpel ready. "You know, Rainbow Dash, I'm disappointed. I thought you would have lasted longer. I really wanted to spend more time with you before we got here, but I guess it's my fault. I should have taken it a bit slower. Oh well. It was really nice knowing you, Dash." The blade sunk into the balloon's throat and worked its way up to her chin, coming down then circled around her neck. The last thing Dash felt was the skin being cut away from her skull, the metal scraping her teeth. Then she was gone. Pinky stared into the mirror. She did a really good job, even keeping the eyelids. She winked. Dash winked back. Pinky smiled. But still, she was sad that her friend was gone. It only lasted 50 minutes. Not nearly as long as she wanted. She looked back at the cadaver hanging there in the center of the room, the last of the fluids draining into the pan. Yep, no more Rainbow Dash. Then Pinkie cocked her head. She was starting to take notice of the fact that there really wasn't much damage. In fact, she began to think, I think... An idea exploded into her head. She was good at sewing. She had all the pieces. All she had to do was put it back together. Yeah, just get some stuffing and bingo! She'd have Rainbow Dash forever. In fact, that's what she'd do to all her friends when their numbers came up. She was so excited. She skipped over the body with the Skinner to get started. Cupcakes can wait. Pinkie had a friend to make. Thank you for watching the whole of Cupcakes. It's very much appreciated if you made it to this point. If I deafened you during this bit, I do apologise. I get highly enthusiastic when reading these. And it probably shouldn't, because they're not exactly light-hearted. Next one I should be reading should be Silent Ponyville 1. And again, this is based around Pinkie Pie. No Rainbow Dash in this one, I do apologise. But it's Pinkie Pie. And then after that one, I should be doing Silent Ponyville 2. This one's based around Fluttershy. So, look forward to those, please. And thank you once more.